Hey yo, what's going on guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be having a story time. This story is basically about when I broke my hip, so let's get straight into it. So it was like freshman year of my high school, and it was like second semester, and I was in art class, and which is my last hour. It's my 6th hour, and I was hanging out with my group of friends that I always sit at their table in art, and we're just like chilling there, and we're just hanging out and stuff like that, and we're doing like sculptures with clay and stuff like that. So there's a lot of clay on the table, and I chose to grab the clay and cause a girl threw it at me, so I threw it back at her, and she gets mad at me and throws it back at me, and then she gets mad at me for some reason. For some reason, I start running out the hall, into the hall, out the door, and I trip once, and I get back up. I continue running down the hall for no apparent reason, and there was a guy at the drinking fountain that is not too far away from the art room, and he put his arm out to stop me completely, and I stopped completely, but she was like right behind me. This girl was like really small, should I say, and he put his arm out, and I completely stopped when I ran into his arm, but she didn't stop. Like, she was so close, she didn't have time to stop. So she ran into me from behind. So what I do is, when she hit me from behind, she basically pushed his arm and knocked me over, and she landed on top of me. And I remember just laying there, and she just gets up and she walks away, and I'm still just laying there, and I wasn't crying, but I had tears in my eye, you know. The art teacher comes out from the room, and he says, "Can you get up?" And I was like, "No, I can't get up." He goes and gets the ladies that sit in the office, and so they come out and they help me up. And by this time, like, I already broke my hip, so when I got up, I was basically limping the whole time, and I thought I broke my leg, not my hip. They were like, "Do you want me to call your parents so they can come drive you home, or do you want to ride the bus?" And I was telling them, "Yeah, I don't want my mom to know about this. I'm just gonna ride the bus." And they were like, "Nah, we're just gonna call your mom." And of course, they call my mom, and my mom's at work, so she can't pick me up, so she calls my sister to come pick me up. And my sister, like, maybe a half an hour later, shows up to the school, and she comes picks me up. I was walking on the sidewalk and heading to her car, and we were right next to her car, and I stepped on the ledge, and bam, I felt a huge pop in my hip, and that's when it completely snapped. Like, my hip just completely snapped in half. It was really hard to get in the car, since my sister's car was like a van, so it was like kind of hard to step up and get in there. At that moment, I was bawling my head off. It hurt like hell, and my sister calls my mom. My sister's like, "Yeah, there's something seriously going wrong. Like, there's something wrong here. Like, it actually is hurting him super bad, Mom." And my mom thought it was just that I just like hurt myself or something like that. And so we get home, and I have like a deck area going all the way around, and so I had to walk up there's like stairs I had to walk up to my thing, and I could barely get up there, and my sister had to grab like one of our rolling computer chairs and bring that outside so I could sit down. And so I did. I got up there. I was in a lot of pain. I was crying, and my sister helps me inside onto the couch because I could not go down to my own room. And from that moment, I just sat there. I went to sleep on the couch. I waited for my mom to get home. And when my mom got home, it was about 8 o'clock at night. I was sitting on it from like 4 to 8, so about 4 hours just sitting there. And she still thought that there's nothing really wrong. She thought I was just hurt. And I was like, hey, can you help me bring me to the bathroom? Like, I can go to the bathroom myself, but I'm going to need help getting there. And so she did, and it was hurting really bad. And that's when she brought me to the bathroom. That's when she knew there was actually something wrong. She was like, do you want to go to the hospital once I got out? She said, do you want to go to the hospital now, or do you want to wait until tomorrow morning? I was like, I want to go now. And she was like, but I have like work in the morning. Are you sure you don't want to wait until the morning? And I was like, yeah, I want to go now. And so I get in the car with all that pain. We get to the hospital, and they got me a wheelchair. I got in the wheelchair and stuff. And I got brought back to get checked out and stuff like that, the hospital. And one of the ladies that were pushing me, she was like, okay, I have to take your weight. And so she grabs my leg and just drops it. And I screamed so loud because it hurt so bad. And my mom was really mad at that lady. She was like, you can't just do that without knowing what was wrong with them and stuff like that. Basically, got an x-ray and stuff like that. And that's basically like the main story. Like, there's also like more to it. Like, I went into surgery because I was on drugs. So, and yeah, basically that's the story. I broke my hip. I was in a wheelchair for I don't even know how long. Wheelchair and crutches for at least a month. And it was pretty intense. So that's my story, guys, how I broke my hip. I tried to go as fast as possible so the video wasn't too long. Alright guys, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoy the rest of the gameplay. And peace.
Last player standing. Thirty seconds left. One enemy remaining.
Up. Go get him. Here.
One enemy remaining. Last player standing.
Eliminate.
Let's go.
Go get him.
Enemy spotted.
Satchel out.
Spike planted.
Red. You fought well. Ready. Out of charges.
player standing. Clutch.
Ooh, that's going on a highlight reel for sure.